Well, this is a great question that we have a lot of times from smaller parts of organizations that are really have a need for secret solutions, but they don't necessarily have the budget to buy an enterprise version of the product. It's actually sort of easy to do this in terms of finding the people with the money, because typically your security teams have budgets to help you solve this kind of an issue, right? And so the first one is look for your security team, see if they have an existing budget just for secrets management solutions. They may already have some kind of a budget for that. The second one is really start to talk around your company and try to understand what your overall security initiatives are. So usually you have like a CISO, or possibly direct to the CIO, somebody who has this set of initiatives to overall bring the security of your company into a much better environment, right? So what we typically find with our successful customers that are able to find budget for small teams is that they roll this up into some other project that is happening company-wide. So you might have a project with a specific name, Project Fufu, or whatever the name might be. And those types of things are great places to find the budgets overall that might roll into, again, to a security initiative that you might have. One of the other things that we find is very, very helpful for people is to prove out why a secrets management solution like this is extremely critical for your organization. And one of the things to really sort of focus on is this concept of secret sprawl. It's this idea that your surface area of where you store your secrets gets large and wide when you don't have a consolidated secrets management solution. So what often happens in a lot of organizations is different developer groups or different operator groups will actually manage their own secret solution on their own. And in some cases, this can be fine if you're in a small company. As you start to get into larger organizations, this can become a problem, especially for somebody with a title like a CISO, because when they have to audit where their secrets are, when they have to audit who's accessing these secrets, when they have to access like when these things are accessed, when they've been deleted from the system, and in some cases by regulatory requirements, tracking these things over time. These become very big budget items in terms of the type of expenses that you could incur if you have penalties. So if you're controlled by something like Sarbanes-Oxley or similar types of regulations, if you were to violate some of those regulatory requirements, the cost to your organization can actually be far greater than anything that you would pay for licenses for Vault. One of the things that we've noticed with our customers who have previously had a data breach and bought Vault to overcome some of the weaknesses that they had within their environment isn't so much just around the fact that now they have a consolidated secrets management solution. It's really in and around the culture that happened after they had the data breach. And so like a pendulum that swings, anytime you have a massive kind of an issue, when the pendulum swings the other way, you have a far different culture than what you started off with when the pendulum was on the other side and you sort of lost your equilibrium. And as a previous operator, it's very difficult for me to go into these situations and maybe I'm helping them do an install or really trying to place the proper sort of clustering solution inside of their environment. Installing software, configuring that software, and then running that software can be very, very difficult. And so this is just one minor part of the type of cultural shift that we have. I also noticed that most of the time people have very secure laptops where they can't install software that they may want to install for productivity reasons. They have to go through very difficult processes in order to do this. Their networks often have to translate all of their outbound web requests through some kind of proxying mechanism, oftentimes with very, very strict security policies. And lastly, just the overall sort of cultural feeling within the organization. And shame is maybe not the best way of describing that, but there's generally some kind of a scar on the organization in general. And so the overall cost to the organization is more than just the fact that you had a data breach. Maybe you have some penalties that happen because of regulatory compliance or anything along those lines. But lastly, it's really just this speed of operations and sort of agility that you can get to market when you have such strict security policies in an organization that maybe didn't have these things. And so when you're trying to find a budget for Vault, think about some of the cultural changes that could incur inside your company if you didn't have a consolidated secret solution, and how to really shore up any of those security policies so that you have the ability to keep that culture going over a period of time.